All right, I'm assuming I'm live. What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe. No fancy introductions. No fancy graphics. Obviously, this is a very, very touchy, very, very serious topic. And all right, good. Looks like I'm live on YouTube. Guys, the phone lines are open. 516-387-1987. Again, that is 516-387-1987. Let me make sure you guys can actually hear me. Yep, there we go. Okay, you guys can hear me. I can hear you. Everybody's looking good. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to play the Tyreek Hill body cam footage. I'm going to give you my thoughts and reaction to the Tyreek Hill body cam footage, and then I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on the whole Tyreek Hill body cam situation. And guys, listen, man. Look, you guys know that I don't really take too kindly to people who disingenuously disagree with me. But this is one of those. Just based on what I've seen from the body cam footage, this really is one of those where you could make an argument theoretically for both sides, so to speak. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the body cam footage. We're going to watch the body cam footage, and I'll ask him, okay, what's going on, brother? We're going to watch the body cam footage, and again, 516-387-1987 is the number. That if you have anything to add or say, if you have an opinion, I'm going to go ahead and pin that in the chat. 516-387-1987. That is the call-in number. I will go ahead and pin that right now. Very good. Okay, and so let's go ahead and let's go here. Give me 2 seconds. All right, there's the call-in number. Let me move the phone. So the call-in number, like I said, guys, 516-387-1987, 516-387-1987. We're going to watch the footage together. And then I will give you my take on it. And so away we go. Wait a minute. Maybe I don't have the right... there we are. Here we go. That's weird. It's still not... Oh, maybe I need to... All right, sorry about that, guys. Give me a second. No, that's not working either. All right, hang on, y'all. Hang on. We do it live. You guys know how we do. No. All right. All right, let's do this. My apologies, guys. Don't know why that's not. Hang on a second. Oh, why can I not? Sorry, guys. I don't know why I can't hear this. Give me a second, y'all. We will watch this. I promise. The sound is up. I think it's probably, honestly, it's probably something. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that later. Just give me a second, y'all. Let me just mess with the sound here. No. Hang on, guys. You guys can watch this until I can. I don't know why. Test. I don't know why this isn't. Come on now. Ay, ay, ay. All right, give me a second here, y'all. Let me test this out on my... It's not... Huh, that's weird. It's not... There it is. There it is. Is it muted? Is it muted? There it is. I hate when that happens. Dude, okay, so what happened was my sound was working, but of course they muted the first part of the fucking video. Jesus, why? Anyway, here we go. This is the Tyreek Hill. Unbelievable. I'm thinking there's something wrong with my system. It's just they muted the sound. Jesus Christ. All right, and away we go. Yeah, Chase Money says the sound starts once they get to the car. It would have been nice to know that from the fucking video. Anyway, let's go. Jesus, already on my bad side. Damn.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Like what? Why you have it up?
Hang on a second. For whatever reason, this audio is not very good. Let's look at the other one, because this one is...
Move forward.
Oh. He told them to move forward, and then he hit the lights. That was weird.
Yeah, we got him here. 6 o'clock. Hey, don't knock on my window like that, man. Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Don't knock on my window.
Why you don't have your seatbelt on?
Don't knock on my window like that, no. Like what? Don't knock on my window like that. Why you have it up? Don't knock on my window like that. Why you have it up? I have to knock to let you know I'm here. Now we can lower it and talk to you. Just get my ticket, bro, so I can go. I'm finna be late, gang. Do what you gotta do. Keep it down. Hey! Keep your window down.
Okay.
Hey! Keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car.
Okay, right there already he's escalating. So Dimes067 says he was going that fast he needed to catch up. No, you missed the first part of the video where the officer told him to pull up a little bit. So he pulled him over, then he told him to pull up a little further, so Tyreek sped up, and then the cop caught up to him. So, again, guys, context matters. Context matters. Let's watch the whole thing.
As a matter of fact, get out of the car.
Oh, boy.
Get out of the car. Give me that. We'll break that freaking window. Get out of the car.
Listen to this.
Keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm going to get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car.
Okay, so he says, keep your window down or I'm going to get you out of the car. Then he just decided, okay, fuck it. Get out of the car. So he didn't give him much of choice. And again, look, let's look at this objectively. Let's look at this objectively. Okay? Tyreek Hill is definitely not being cooperative. He's not being violent, but he's not being cooperative. Right? Don't tell me what to do, blah 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 blah. So, and I was talking to Edward Cross about this a little earlier today. My guess is that he'll probably call in. He said this looked like a pissing contest, which is fine. So let's call a spade here. Tyreek is not exactly being cooperative. By the same token, he is a little agitated. They know who this guy is. It's not like he's Tyreek Smith. He's Tyreek Hill. Clearly, he's on his way to the game. He's going to speed, blah, 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 blah. Or whatever it was. But that's not what the officer asked Tyreek. He said, why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why would you ask him, why don't you have your seatbelt on? Right? It's almost like and again, I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, but that seemed very confrontational by the cop. It doesn't matter why he doesn't have his seatbelt on. It matters that he doesn't have his seatbelt on. So what's the point of asking, why don't you have your seatbelt on? What's he going to say? I forgot? Then what happens? So it's almost like he was asking, why you don't have your seatbelt on? Why you don't have your seatbelt on? Just so that he can get into an argument.
Get out of the car. Give me that. We'll break that freaking window. Get out.
And there we are. See? Now we got the other officer in the back. Now he's heated. I'm going to break that freaking window. Really?
Car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. Get out.
This is uncalled for right here. Yeah, this is uncalled for, guys. This is uncalled for.
I'm getting arrested. Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little fucking confused.
Oh, yeah. You're a little fucking confused. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's not what... They ain't what cops are supposed to do. That ain't what cops are supposed to do. Nah. This is a power trip now.
Hell, bro, do what you gotta do, bro. We are. We will. Good, bro. It is good. Hey.
Yeah, pissing contest. It is good.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. Stop crying. Bro. God. I ain't do nothing, twin. Hey, hold on, pull to the side, Hey.
This part right here is uncalled for. When the other cop comes up behind him and puts him on the ground. See, we didn't see. So let me go back to the other video. Let me go back to the other one. We didn't see that part. Let me fast forward. Let me fast forward this part, because this part is fucking crazy.
I'm getting arrested.
Look at this.
I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting out.
You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little confused.
I'm getting out.
You're a little fucking confused. Yeah, you're a little fucking confused, guys. That's uncalled for. This is the power trip right here. This is the power trip.
Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro.
We are. We will.
Dime 607 says it was. I don't know what you mean. He says no, he's not. Hill was disobeying lawful orders. The cops, however, were not professional. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, both parties could have handled this situation much better. I think Tyreek should have been a little bit more compliant. He should have rolled his window down. But by the same token, the officer, the officer needs to keep his cool. The officer lost his cool. Okay, the officer lost his cool and decided, you know what, I'm gonna pull you out of the car. He aggressively pulls Tyreek Hill out of the car for not rolling down the window.
Good, bro.
It is good.
Hey.
Yeah, and see, now the cop is going back and forth. It is good.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. You stop crying.
Bro.
Unbelievable.
Don't move.
Good. Bro, you beating on my window like you crazy.
You set him up?
Why y'all beating on my window like y'all crazy for? Damn, yo, bro. Bro, dude, beating on my window like he crazy.
So that's Johnu. So this is Johnu Smith in the Bentley. Now this part right here is uncalled for right here. Watch this. This is crazy like this.
Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee.
See, he said, I just had surgery on my knee. Oh, dude, this is unprofessional. Do you see how these cops are yelling at him?
I just had surgery on my knee, bro.
Really? What a coincidence. Come on, man.
I just had surgery in your ears when we told you to put the window down.
Oh, now he's... Oh, see, did you hear that? You had surgery on your ears when we told you to put the window down. Yo, look, man. Look, check this out. Tyreek... Don't get me wrong. So far from what I see, listen, I'm not saying Tyreek handled this the right way, but the cops are way out of pocket here. I don't care what anybody says. They made this personal. For them, oh, you're gonna have surgery on you had surgery on your ears when you told you to roll down the fucking window. We're gonna break down the window. Come on, man.
Chill, bro. Hey, Johnu, bro.
Back up.
Hey,
Yeah, that's Johnu Smith. So the guy right there on the left, that is their tight end, Johnu Smith.
Call Drew.
The guy on the right, now this is Calais Campbell.
Back up.
Hey, call Drew.
Hold up. Watch my mouth. So this guy right here, this is Miami Dolphins defensive lineman. This is Calais Campbell. The other guy is Johnu Smith. Now, I understand why the cops reacted the way they react. If you guys know anything about professional football, and if you know anything about Calais Campbell is 6'8" and he's about 3 bills. He's about 3 bills. So he is, I mean, listen, if I'm a cop and I see a guy Calais Campbell size approach a scene, I'm probably going to get a little bit nervous too. So I get it.
Call Drew. Hey, call Drew, bro. Call Drew.
So he's telling Calais and Johnu to call Drew Rosenhaus's agent.
Hey, call Drew, bro.
And the fact that the officer, the officers, what they said with the whole stop crying and, oh, what a fucking coincidence. This is personal.
Hey, what? Hey, call Drew, bro. Just call Drew. Hey.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing nothing. What am I doing that's wrong?
Hey, listen.
Yeah, Johnu.
Hey, listen, hey, man, they got Tyreek. The cops over here beating on him, man. They over here beating
Oh, okay. All right, Johnu. Okay, now there's a little bit of it. Well, I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Listen, big man, don't park there, man. Just get in the car.
Hey, Drew, you gotta come, man.
Just get in the car.
Right up the side, on the side of the,
Hey, get in the car. You're parked in the middle of the street.
I'm in the car. You gotta go before you get a ticket.
Hey, you're in the car.
Who's the driver? This is my car. All right, move.
These cops are hyper. See, do you see what's happening? These cops know who these men are. They know who these men. They know who these men are, and they're right now they're power tripping. They're like, oh, okay, this is Tyreek Hill, one of the highest paid receivers in football. Here are two of his rich teammates. Let's do a power trip.
Let me have your license. You're gonna have to get through. I'm coming. Let me have your license. You're gonna have to. Let me have your license.
Look at this. This is
Let me have your license.
okay. Johnu Smith now is in the wrong. Now, what Johnu Smith needs to do, here's what I would have done if I was Johnu Smith. I would have told the driver, I'd have been like, hey, take the car and get out of here. Then I would have gone back another 25 feet just to make sure Tyreek knew I was there. He should not be arguing with the cops here. But then again, what you guys have to understand, the onus is on the cop to be the professional. The onus is on the cop to be the professional at this point. The cops are taking this they're getting way too heated. They're taking this way too personal, and they're making this way too personal.
Your license right now. What's going on? Your license right now. You're not gonna give me your license? You're not gonna give me your license? I'm leaving. Let me have your license. Your license right now. Sir, hey, your license right now.
Yeah, this is not good. Look at him.
Your license right now. You're dealing with me now. Your license right now.
Yeah, this cop is being a dick.
We're not playing this game here, man. All right, go get your license.
Yeah, see, now the cop is being a dick.
Close that door.
And this is good on him to be recording this.
Yo, Drew.
Let me stand them up so I can take off this coat.
I'm going home, bro. Fuck ass
Right, come over here. Don't fall off the sidewalk.
No.
So this guy right here, the ball-headed guy, he's the head of security for the Miami Dolphins.
Man, I'm already rich. I don't even come on, bro.
Open your legs.
I didn't know. You see what he's saying? Open your legs.
Just let them lean forward a little.
These pops are weird. Just go with the ring. Just go with it. Okay, just go with it. You right. Almost over. You right. Appreciate it. Hey.
Hold on, man.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Appreciate it, bro.
Hold on.
Thank you, guys. You okay? Nah, I'm not, bro. I'm finna go home, bro.
There's Drew Rosenhaus. Okay, so this guy right here. So there are two people here. This guy is the head of Miami Dolphins security, and if you guys want to know who that is, you guys can Google that. Every team has a head of security. The Philadelphia Eagles, famously, we have Big Dom, who got into it with Dre Greenlaw on the Monday Night Football game against the 49ers last season. This guy right here is super agent, and Tyreek Hill's agent, Drew Rosenhaus. That's the guy he wanted to call. Here are some other cops as well.
For a second. Go big here. Okay. Take a picture of that officer too. Don't worry. It will be. It's all going to be done. That's all I need. That's all I need. Thank you. Do me a favor, just let me get a picture. Let me talk to my mom real quick.
He needs to talk to his mom. Wow. That was crazy. Okay, all right. Well, we have all seen the video. All right, so we've all seen the video. I've got the phone lines open: 516-387-1987, 516-387-1987. Okay, let's get things started. Let's go to area code 920. Area code 920. You're on live with Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Donovan. It's Viking Paradigm calling in.
Hey, Viking. What's going on, brother?
So I actually got a little bit of spoilers on this. Myron Fresh did a breakdown on this yesterday,
Okay.
but I tend to agree with Myron's take, and I also agree largely with your take, but I got a little bit of a hot take that needs to be prefaced here.
Okay.
So, in my father's words, he got into his first high-speed chase at age 12.
Wow.
And he always told me, I hate the cops with a burning passion, son, but you need to know how to not act like a fool if you deal with them.
Right.
So I got an education that's kind of unique from basically the hood mentality or white trash mentality about dealing with the cops, but doing it from a tactful view, right? He said, treat the cop like he's your best friend, but he could be your worst enemy. That's the key piece of advice that he gave me.
Yeah.
So once again, you don't say anything that incriminates yourself. You don't act agitated or tweaking like this motherfucker was. And granted, he's going to a game. He's about to play, right? But that's also why it's kind of bullshit that he's going like, I was injured. I got, like you're going to play a football game and now you're trying to play victim. Come on, man. Like you were tweaking, you rolled up your window. And think about this from the cop standpoint for a second here. Because we're thinking about it from his standpoint about abuse of power and stuff like that. But these are motorcycle cops in Miami. What just happened a couple of weeks ago or whatever with the girl compression fit, smucking two family men or whatever, going high speed down Miami. So this dude is speeding in a crowded area on the way to a football game. He's not wearing his seatbelt. He's tweaking like a hood nigga, right?
Whoa,
So,
Viking! Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Yo, VP! Look, no, Viking! No, I gotta stop you right there, bro. I gotta stop you right there. Listen, you're a good friend of mine, but my friend, you are way out of fucking line right now.
The cop's mindset.
No. Viking, VP, I gotta put you on hold, bruh. Nah, nope. Sorry, not doing that. Oh no, definitely not doing that. Definitely not doing that. Viking Paradigm, you are a very, very good friend of mine. You have helped me immensely with my channel and my internet, but my friend, you were way the fuck out of pocket. You are a white man using the N-word. No way. I am not going to tolerate that. Hell no. Holy shit. Like, VP, what is happening? Let me take some time to cool off before I get back to you, because that was way out of line. Ay. Area code 561. You're on live with Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Whew.
Hey, Donovan. It's Phoenix. How you doing today?
Hey, PLG. What's going on, brother?
I'm doing good. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was Viking Paradigm. I mean, I know he's a little passionate about it.
Sure.
So I know you're going to give him some time to cool off.
Yeah,
stuff.
that's fine.
So
Yeah.
He'll be good. He'll be
Yeah.
good. No harm.
It is what it is. It's fine.
Well, yeah. Well, to talk about the situation, I think I'm more so going to talk about more of the cops than Tyreek. Well, first of all, Tyreek, how he approached the situation, he should have handled it better. Obviously, he was being a little bit difficult. Then he started to comply mid through the process or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then all the cops were, they were doing a lot much. They were doing a lot much.
Yeah.
And the reason why, and you said something that stuck to me. You said this is personal.
Yeah.
I think it's here's what I think from the cops' perspective.
Okay.
I think they hate their jobs. And they don't like what they do. I think they hate it. And they see somebody like Tyreek doing his thing,
right,
living his life, flourishing and stuff like that. So this is what I mean. I'm not sure what's going on in the cops' lives, but this is a typical tactic that low-value men do to men who are doing better than them.
There you go. Right.
Whenever a man who's doing well in life is flourishing and shit, like it's similar how Fresh was with the whole Daisy situation.
Sure, of course.
All the men were coming out of the woodworks to to shit on him and stuff like that. This is just more of a enhanced version of that. They saw who it was and said, "Oh shit, finally we can take this guy down.
Right.
I finally feel better about myself." even though I'm not in where I personally want to be in life. It'll make me feel better for my self-esteem or self-worth or something like that. Guys like that like to take down guys bigger than them because it gives them, I don't know, some sort of false sense of satisfaction that you think you're better than me just because you did this and that. Well, let me show you otherwise.
Right.
That's my perspective on it. I
Okay.
don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, listen, my opinion is I think both sides could have handled this much better. I think that Tyreek Hill, I think that he did not do himself any favors. I disagree with Viking Paradigm when he says he was tweaking. He wasn't tweaking. He wasn't acting all crazy, but he was clearly agitated. And this does not absolve Tyreek Hill from escalating the situation, right? When the cop pulled him over, he told him to roll down the window. Now Tyreek asks, "Why I got to roll down the window? Why I got to roll down the window?" So now it's a back and forth, and cops don't like it when people go back and forth with him because now you're trying to cede my authority. I am in the authoritative position, and you are the civilian. You're going to do what I say when I say, and the actual cop said it later when he had his fucking knee in his back. That being said, it's on to me the responsibility. Tyreek certainly bears some responsibility for this. I'm not going to sit here and say that he was completely innocent in this. Like I said, absolutely he should have handled this much, much differently. But by the same token, the police officer escalated it way past the point of no return when he knocked on his window and said, "Hey, roll down. You know what? You better roll down your window or I'm going to get you out of the car." Then another cop says, "I'll break that fucking window right now." And of course, you can see right here. You can see right here. This is excessive force. He opened up the car. Didn't even give Tyreek a chance to get out of the car. They yanked him out of the car. There's 3 guys on him. They're putting the knee in his back. The optics are bad. So I think both parties are wrong in this particular situation. But this absolutely positively needs to be addressed. This is not a nothing burger. No, Tyreek didn't do himself any favors. But the cops to me are far more at fault than Tyreek was.
Yes, I agree. This is it's similar to what Myron said during the breakdown that he did of it yesterday. So yeah, I totally his take is similar to your take, so I do agree. One more thing before I go, Donovan.
Sure.
Can I let you know something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. On the Discord earlier today, I was busy with work, but I sent you I sent you the video with the FNF stuff. Yeah. And also even the. But how it starts is a little bit confusing, so I sent you a voice recording following that, even though when you replied to my thing that explains, the context of the weird cut in the beginning, but it's still a full clip that gives you the complete context of when Myron went on his rant. Yeah. So it's still an educational clip, so I just wanted to give you some context before you watch it. That way you're not confused.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks for calling in, Phoenix Lake Games. I appreciate it.
No problem. You have a good day.
You too, buddy. All right. Let's go to Edward Cross out in Delaware. Edward Cross, so you called in yesterday about the situation, and you gave a pretty good take on this particular situation. So now that we have, and like I said yesterday, Ed, I said, look, we got to see the body cam footage to make an accurate assessment. So we've watched the body cam footage. I'm sure you've watched it several times. What are your thoughts?
It's exactly what I said yesterday.
Yep.
When you look at the body when you look at the body video, that's what's going to say. It's going to say plenty, and it shows how both sides are wrong, and it shows how people are biased to whatever side they're on.
Right.
There's plenty of back and forth where it is right and wrong on everyone's end.
Right.
The only thing I would did different than Mr. Hill was just simply not speak.
Right. Yeah.
I would have cracked my window and everything else. I know people are like, just comply. You've never been arrested, probably. You've never had a gun to your head. You've never been to jail. And I'll tell you one thing, it doesn't matter. It's up with the cops saying you've seen them power tripping.
Yeah.
The onus is on the cops to remain stoic.
Yes.
What happens to stoicism? And that's where it comes with Mr. Hill. Every man, be stoic.
Right.
That doesn't mean go ahead and power trip. He's power tripping. Oh, my knee hurts. I have a bad knee. I got knocked down on off my motorcycle 55 on the highway before.
Sure.
Because some guy doesn't understand what a solid white line means.
Yeah. Right.
And you're slamming him down, and you already have him in handcuffs.
Yeah,
that's uncalled for.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I'm gonna maintain that. Tyreek Hill definitely hurt himself in this situation. He absolutely.
Exactly. He could have just been quiet.
Yep. He could have just been quiet.
He been quiet.
And if he wanted to verbally communicate with the officers, he should have taken a different tone. Because, Ed, listen, man, you watch me break down police videos all the time. We got niggas getting pulled over by cops all the time. They get out, they start acting crazy. I'm the first guy to say, hey, look, check this out. If you don't want to end up in a body bag, then you need to watch your tone with these cops. Tyreek Hill didn't do it. And again, that does not justify the level of force that the cops used to yank him out of the car and eventually sit him back down and putting their knee in his back. But by the same token, let's not pretend that Tyreek didn't escalate this situation himself. Now here's the thing, Edward. I think the cop was already heated. Now, and this is just my opinion, but just based on the cop's body language and, him knocking on, the cop was already heated. And just like you said, the onus is on Tyreek Hill. Doesn't have a responsibility to the public. He's not a law enforcement officer. Again, that does not mean that he should not act appropriately or courteously. But the police officer, you work for the people. You are you're an extension of the law. And so just like you said, the onus is on the police officer to remain calm. That being said, police officers are people too. We're humans. We have emotions. But this is why officers go through training. They go through training in these, so that when they do come across these situations, this is stoicism. Stoicism is even though you're boiling on the inside, you need to keep it cool on the outside. Tyreek Hill definitely should have done that, but the onus was much more on the cop to do that, and that I believe. I think the cop escalated this a lot further than he needed to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
The thing I was going to say as well with Florida, when we were talking about, they have a history or whatever, you remember a few years ago they pulled over the Florida state attorney.
Yep.
She was new in her post.
Yep, that's right.
And what they say, tinted windows.
Yes. There you go.
What? The cops have tinted windows.
Yes.
Your front windshield tinted.
Right.
So it's okay for you to do it, but it's bad for me. And see, this is where the disingenuous, conversation comes in.
Of course.
What's okay for everyone?
Right.
Everyone doesn't care. It helps keep your car cool. But
You're right.
Now, all of a sudden, this gives you an excuse? No, it doesn't. And that's why those guys had egg on their face after they let her go, when they figured out she was the AG.
Yep.
And that's what you get.
Yep.
And for all those comply guys out there, people saying, well, blah, 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 blah. Don't act like every cop is sitting here forthright and just. He is a person just like you.
Right.
And the person that I have coming from Florida again is Zachary Wester.
Yep.
No one remembers this cop.
I do.
He went ahead and had the prosecutors drop 120 cases that he brought forth because he went ahead and he was planting evidence on
Unbelievable.
people. And this is why I don't consent to searches and seizures, which is your Fourth Amendment right. But I'm an asshole for going ahead and telling you that.
And I remember I got on you about that one time, I guess because I didn't know. Now, see, you and I are a little bit different in this regard. I've got nothing to hide. So if a cop wants to search my car, I'm like, look, I mean, listen, whatever, fine, search and seizure. But then again, you talk about dirty cops who then plant evidence. So it's almost like the paradox, like how much do you comply? It's not like the officer. And again, like I said, I will be the first to tell you, Tyreek Hill most definitely bears some level of responsibility for this situation. If he had complied at first without all of the questioning with why I got to roll down my window and blah, 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 okay, that's fine. But again, police officers are trained to deal with these situations. Tyreek Hill is not. Actually, Tyreek Hill we're trained by our community. Hey, this is how not to get your ass kicked by the cops, as somebody put in, about the Dave Chappelle skit. So while Tyreek certainly bears some responsibility, to me, most of the responsibility goes to the cops and the law enforcement. The force that they used, to me, was inappropriate. They did not have to pull him out of the car. And a lot of people are trying to say I'm using hyperbole. No, they yanked him out of the car, guys. They yanked him out of the car. That's literally what happened.
That's force. I've done that to someone before.
Right.
That's a lot of force.
Yep. It's a lot of force to be. It takes a lot of force to move a man against his will. And again, when Tyreek opened the door, He opened the door. He unlocked the door, so he complied to some degree. But by then, the police officer had already decided, all right, I'm going to put this guy on the ground. I'll give you the last word, Ed.
I think that was a great overview of it.
Okay.
It shows how quickly how your life can change like
yes.
that. That's why I like to be respectful in every situation. So then that way, if I am not or whatever, after it's because you showed me discourteousness or disrespect or you were foul-mouthed at first. And that goes the same way with the police. It's probably an unpopular opinion, but you should treat the police just like women. You don't argue with women, so why are you arguing with the police?
Right. It never ends well when you argue with the cops. It just doesn't.
Also, and this is the last thing I have to say for it or whatever, because, people want to, talk about certain things. Every situation is different, and, the laws are different in certain states. And everyone talks about complying with lawful orders or whatever else like that. Just give people a little bit more grace, because you really don't know, and the body cam is proven to see what we have. I've had a police officer stop me for carrying a firearm and take me down to holding because I don't have an ID. And the same police officers drop me off on the west side of Wilmington, load my magazine back up, and put the gun on my hip because I recite the law to them. So, you know what I mean? Every case is different. Everything is different. Just try to treat everybody in every situation with respect, so that way you can come out on top.
Edward Cross, thanks for calling in, man.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to read these comments. I got Viking Paradigm up next. Then area code 424, then 501, then 207. I assume that's Jay Blaze. Let me read some of these comments here. Ken Rose with a $2 super chat. Not going to use Don DeMarcos. Alaskan Case says, I think this is a good example of why we need terms everyone can say. It's sad a word can split a group because only one can use it. Bad choice to say it, but we should remember intent. Yeah, I guess he was talking about VP using the like a hood nigga. Like that was uncalled for, but it is what it is. Listen, one mistake doesn't a man's character make. He had a slip of the tongue. I'm good with that. We'll move past it. Daryl Clark says, I agree with Viking with regards to Tyreek defiantly not rolling the window down, but the cops didn't need to be all aggressive like that, taking him out of the car. I agree with that. King Live says, I'll say this, a lot of people don't realize it, but the people displayed in this video clearly don't have a tolerance for hood people, especially hood people with money. Slowburn says the cop was being normal and okay, I guess. Tyreek was trying to show out and he fucked around and found out. Yeah, and listen, he fucked around and found out, Slowburn, but for the record, I don't think the cop should be fired. I think they should be disciplined, but guys, listen, man, this was one bad incident. Remember, these guys have families, they have lives. Okay, so they had a bad moment. They've got egg on their face. This doesn't mean they're bad people. Okay, I'm not going to call for somebody's job. Not that it makes a difference whether I call them out or not. But Quail says, Slowburn saying that he effed around and found out. So Slowburn clearly is on the side of the cops. Yeah, he fucked around and found out, Slowburn. But guess what? The cops are going to fuck around and find out why you don't act like this toward civilians. So they were both wrong. And Slowburn, I think you need to admit that the cops were wrong in this situation. B Daddy says the cop was overly aggressive, so the cop is at fault. Quail says the cop is 100% at fault. He instigated it. No, I disagree. I'm not going to assign percentages of blame, but all parties involved were responsible. The cops were absolutely responsible for escalating it to that point. Tyreek is absolutely responsible for not complying when they asked him to roll down his window. Alaskan Case says, I think the cops wanted to make an example. No, you're right. What was it? Edward Cross, Phoenix Light Games was talking about the fact that, some cops know when they're dealing with celebrities. And when you've got guys, cops don't make any money. Tyreek Hill makes more in a half a day than these guys make in an entire year. They're well aware of that. So there's already that. Guys, what you have to understand, and it's just like PLG said, there's already a low. You guys understand that with certain people, there's always a low-key amount of animosity for people doing better than they are. I get people in here trolling me all the time, talking all crazy about me and my wife and all this other kind of stuff. It's because they're not doing as well in life as I am. Otherwise, they wouldn't feel the need to come in here and troll. Well, cops have the ultimate control in this situation. They can really fuck up somebody's day. And just like we always say, Cops are people too. They've got hopes, they've got dreams, they've got biases, they've got jealousies. A lot of people low-key hate professional athletes, especially guys like Tyreek Hill. It is what it is. Micah Wolf says they both escalated. The difference is one person has authority and the other does not. And that's the difference, Micah. That's the difference, Micah. Both parties escalated, but the one party that had authority should not have escalated it to the point to where they escalated it. Draven with the $20 super chat says you treat a cop the same way you would a, quote, made guy in the mafia. If you wouldn't dare say it or do it to a, quote, made guy, you sure as hell don't say it or do it to a cop. All it takes is the wrong cop on the wrong day. And that is exactly what this example was. This was the wrong cop on the wrong day. Slowburn says, then in his interview, he tried to act like he did nothing and was being quiet. Yeah, Tyreek, listen, and you're right, Slowburn. Tyreek Hill absolutely downplayed his role in the escalation of the situation. We all saw it. We all saw it. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say that Tyreek Hill is completely blameless because he certainly played his role in this situation. But again, the onus is on the cop to be the professional. The cops are the ones that are trained. He's the one with the authority. He's the one with the weapon. Okay? And with great power comes great responsibility. Tyreek Hill doesn't have any power in that situation. He's a civilian. He's in his car, right? Assuming he's not going to fire at the cops. And you see this cop, the way he's talking to these guys, he's pointing at him. This is not professional. The way this cop is addressing Jonnu Smith is not professional. He's pointing to his chest. He's pointing at, yeah, fuck you, or no. Give me your license, da-da-da-da. It's almost like he's trying to use his words as a weapon. You, as the police officer, you've got the power, you've got the weapon, you've got the authority, you have the entire state of Florida on your side trying to enforce the law. The responsibility is on you to remain professional. I understand that cops, every once in a while, they get a little bit crazy. I get that. This was uncalled for, and this was wrong. Okay. Yeah, Slowburn says, did the cops get too rough? Sure, but Tyreek isn't innocent like y'all trying to act. No, Slowburn, nobody here is saying that Tyreek is innocent. So you can talk about other people, you can't talk about me. But again, see, the way Slowburn says, did the cops get too rough? Sure. Okay, the cops were too rough. That's it. Okay? Tyreek didn't help the situation, and the cops were too rough. Don't minimize it by saying, were the cops too rough? Sure, but no. There is no sure but. Yeah, Tyreek Hill escalated the situation, but the way he was acting did not warrant the subsequent reaction from the cop, Slowburn, and you know it. Devin in the chat says, my parents taught me to respect authority, whether I like it or agree with it or not. Quail says, you respect your proper authority. You can't just respect authority because it is authority. That's like saying I was just following orders. There are unlawful orders. Yes, there are. Okay. Let's go back to the phone lines. All right, Viking Paradigm. I'm going to give you another chance here. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on the situation. Continue your thought.
Yeah, so the way that the police are trained, that's what I was really trying to get to there.
Okay.
Right? You can tell the influence that I got brought up in, right? I
sure.
slipped up.
It is what it is.
That's my bad.
No sweat.
But the thing is that the way that I was explained to me, I slipped into quoting an ex-highway patrolman
sure.
that would happen to be black. Right. That's what I did there.
That's fine.
And I've also known ex-motorcycle cops as well, because as I said, my father hated the cops.
Right.
But he taught me to study them. So I made friends starting at age 9 in the hood. I started talking to the cops, getting the baseball cards and stuff like that from them. And they were giving me whole stacks of them, and I was giving them all my friends. So I was cool, right?
Nice.
Because I just wanted to learn from the law enforcement themselves to see how they fucking work.
Right.
One of the things that they're trained to do is that as soon as somebody's uncooperative, they have to basically go into kind of riot police mode.
Okay.
And riot police mode means that if the person escalates, you've got to ratchet up a notch. So they are trained to escalate. And why are they trained to escalate in this sort of situation? Once again, motorcycle cops, they're dealing with a McLaren in Miami. Shortly after, two family men just got killed, so they're on high alert. They're taking this shit personally, 1,000%, right? So they got this guy in a McLaren speeding without a seatbelt on, and then he's rolling up his window. Whenever somebody is in a traffic stop situation like that and they roll up their window, it's either because they're hiding drugs or because they're about to run 99% of the time.
I agree, Viking. Let me stop you right there, Taro. Listen, let me stop you right there, Taller. You're right. 99% of the time, it's because they have drugs or they're about to run. But This is a professional athlete on a game day. Not even, dude, I'm actually looking at Hard Rock Stadium. So yes, I agree with you in that, okay, they're trained to, escalate the situation and blah, 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 blah. But this is Tyreek Hill. This is different. This man, listen, did he have drugs? Was he going? Listen, I can't tell you whether or not he had drugs in the car, and I can't tell you whether or not he was going to run. But I can tell you this. A guy like him in that situation on this day outside of that stadium, it is far more likely than not that he was just going to work. And again, I'm not gonna minimize what he did. He was speeding, and yeah, he definitely escalated. But it's not like he swung at anybody. He didn't threaten anybody. He wasn't yelling. Yeah, he played the games with the windows, but in my opinion, based on who he is, the day and the situation, the cops escalated it way too far and took it way too personally. I'll give you the last word.
Well, here's the thing to finish the analysis of, because I was just trying to give a rundown of, because I've had cops run through this with me, right? Basically, like how they have to think when they're dealing with situations like this. So the way that they look at a car like that is that's a rocket launcher that could be set loose, and that's why they were trying. As soon as he's rolling out the window, they're trying to maintain control of the situation. That way, he doesn't run into crowded traffic on the way to the football.
Again, Tarl, Tarl, you're right. But again, this is Tyreek Hill, okay? This is not Tyreek's.
They haven't run his info yet.
No.
They didn't run his license yet.
No, Tarl, Tarl, listen, Tarl, I agree with you, but context matters. This is, and again, we can sit here and say we got to treat everybody the same, but you don't treat everybody the same because not everybody has the same intentions. They knew this was Tyreek Hill. They had his tags. He's in a McLaren. They knew it. They know exactly who this is. You can't tell me in good conscience that they actually thought that Tyreek Hill was going to run. And so if the cops use this, well, we were trained to, escalate it and push it past that point because we don't know if he has drugs or weapons. You know what the public is going to say? You know what the judge is going to say? Yeah, this is Tyreek Hill. This man was on his way to work. Yes, he was speeding. Yes, he was driving recklessly. That was absolutely wrong. But the fact that they escalated it to this point, to me, was 1,000% uncalled for. Oh, wait a minute. All right, let me call back in, Tarl, if you can. All right, let me go to area code. 424. Area code 424. You're on live at Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Don, calling from Los Angeles. It's Colonels in the chat.
Colonels, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, brother, man? Hey, that car guy has more excuses for the cops than the simps do for women. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Well.
But, I was born born and raised in Los Angeles, okay? And I grew up in a little community called Echo Park.
Okay.
In Echo Park, there's a place, and I'm sure you've heard of this. You've been around the block, Don.
Yeah.
You're very, very familiar with a lot of these crooked things around the United States.
Yeah.
I grew up right next to the Rampart Police Station.
Oh, wow.
Okay? That is one of the most crooked departments in the United States. And this is the reason why most people like me, and I'm Latino, most people like me and a lot of other colored people don't respect police. I understand that Tyreek did something wrong, and I also understand that the cops over-escalated. And I think it's fucking bullshit that all these crooked-ass cops, all they can do is if they're having a bad day, they can treat you like crap. Their wife cheats on them. They take it out on you, and you're the one with the gun, and no matter what you do, you're going to lose anyway. The system will always go against us.
Yeah. And it's a shame because, and listen, we've got people in the chat who are blaming Tyreek Hill for this situation. Might I remind you guys, Tyreek Hill is not in law enforcement. He does not have a responsibility to the community. The cops are the ones that are trained to not only alleviate the situation, but to de-escalate the situation. It's not like he was brandishing a weapon. It's not like he was acting all crazy and threatening them and all these gestures. No. The man rolled down his window and he actually unlocked the car to let the cop in. All they had to do, in my opinion, okay, all right, he unlocked the car. He unlocked the car. He rolled down the window. Okay, it's clear that he wants to comply now. So let's let him. No, they decided to exercise their authority. They decided to grab him and rip him out of the car, and that's exactly what the hell they did. And like I said, The cops, listen, the cops bear most of the responsibility here because the cops, they got the power, they got the gun, they got the authority. Tyreek Hill has none of that stuff. He doesn't have a legal right to use a gun in that situation. He has no authority in that situation. So the onus is on the cop to act more professionally as he has more power.
Yeah, and you know what's so interesting is if that was a woman.
Oh God!
Women yell at cops all the time.
Yeah.
All the time, and it never gets to this fucking point. Never.
No, it never gets to this. Well, and the reason why it doesn't get to this point, Colonels, is because, women are not as big and strong as men. And that, of course, is why when Calais Campbell arrived on the scene, that's when shit really got real. Because Calais Campbell is 6'8", 300 and something pounds. So I understand the cops saying, hey, get the fuck out of here or whatever the case may be. But I'll give you the last word on this, Colonels.
Yeah. And I watch a lot of these First Amendment audit shows and so on.
Yeah.
And, they're pretty good because we have to protect ourselves.
Sure.
Look, we don't have to be paralegals, we don't have to be lawyers, but we also have to know the basics because we also know that cops are crooked and all they really care about is that thin blue line.
Yeah.
And most of us that are smart know this. But last word. Nothing really happens to these cops. They don't lose their pensions.
Yeah.
They don't lose their 401ks. They get a slap on the wrist, and then they get back on the force, or they move them to a desk. They downgrade them, but nothing really happens.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Right. Okay. Very good. Thank you very much, Colonels, for calling in. Yeah, I mean, he's from L.A., so he knows. I mean, listen, anyone who was born and raised in L.A., all about crooked cops. Dime607 said, the cops have the authority, the officers rather, have the authority to regulate the flow of traffic and conduct an investigation safely. Hill did everything to prevent that. Then he also says that wasn't aggressive tapping on the window. See what is happening is that if you are on the police officer side, you are minimizing the cop's role and maximizing Tyreek's role. If you're on Tyreek's side, you are minimizing his role and you're maximizing the cop's role. Dimes, whether or not that was aggressive tapping on the window or not, that doesn't matter. The cops were out of pocket. I'm sorry. Listen, you're gonna have to take this L, fam. The cops have more responsibility and more authority. They should have acted with more professionalism. That's what I'm going to lean on. Tyreek Hill absolutely escalated the situation, but there was no reason for them to yank him out of the car, put his knee on his back, and then force him back to the ground. I'm sorry, that's just not how it goes. That's just not how it's supposed to be. Let's see. All right, we got area code 501, then we got Jay Blaze, and I think Viking Paradigm is back on the line. I'm gonna get to him in just a second. Dime607 says Hill wasn't going to comply. It was ending this way regardless. The officers moving fast forced it. It looks bad. No, Dimes, that's where you're wrong. Hill eventually was going to comply. That's why here's the thing, and this is where I disagree with Viking Paradigm. This is not a regular person, guys. Tyreek Hill said it on his press conference. What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? What if I were Tyreek Smith? The fact that he is Tyreek Hill, gentlemen, it makes a difference. Dime607 said Hill wasn't going to comply. He wasn't going to comply? So what's he going to do? Get in a shootout with the cops right out front of Hard Rock Stadium? What's he going to do? Speed off and lead the cops on a high speed chase through Miami when he's got no. This was not going to happen. Hill was going to comply, and proof of that was when he unlocked his door and opened his window. So what Dimes is doing, see, people like Dimes, there are cops with people like Dimes' mentality. It was ending this way regardless. No, it wasn't. If Tyreek Hill opens his door and the cops let him out, that situation doesn't escalate because now he's complying. There was no reason for them to grab him out of the car. So Dimes, like a lot of like some police officers, the bad ones in the bunch, are just looking for a reason to get aggressive with guys. Well, hell, it was going to end this way anyway. Oh, really? So you have a crystal ball now? So all of a sudden you're clairvoyant? And it's just like Taro said. You're absolutely right. He could have gun, he could have weapons, he could run, whatever the case may be. But think about the situation. This is Tyreek Hill, a professional athlete who has everything to lose in a situation like that. Why in the world would he speed off? The police officers knew that this was Tyreek Hill. He's in a McLaren F1. Obviously, when they ran his tags, they knew who the hell he was. The cops were in the wrong. Quayle says the cop should have de-escalated. LDN says Donovan has no clue. Hill wouldn't comply. It would have ended like that anyway. I disagree. Yeah, see, people like this, it would have ended like that anyway. Guys, he's Tyreek Hill. He has a lot. Okay, so what if Hill doesn't comply? Then what happens? If Hill doesn't comply, bad things happen. People get pew-pewed. Tyreek Hill, and you want to know why Tyreek Hill actually delayed opening the door? He was calling his agent, Drew Rosenhaus. He was calling his agent, all right, I'm going to call him up because I know some shit's about to go down. Let me unlock the door. Soon as they pulled him out, the phone dropped. He said, Drew, they're arresting me. Drew, they're arresting me. The other officer said, yeah, I hung up on Drew Rosenhaus. You're not going to talk to him. Quit crying, blah, 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 blah. So, again, those of you guys who say that this was going to end this way anyway, that's a very dangerous mindset to have. And thank God none of you guys are police officers. Because clearly that's the mindset of these guys. Oh, let me go to area code 501. Area code 501. You're on live at Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Donovan. It's I guess this is Satisfaction from the chat. I don't know. I haven't been here in like a month. So
okay, all right.
I don't expect you to remember me. I'm from Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just had like a couple points to bring up. Like I hear people talking and everything like that, and I also hear you often. You always say, you know, you don't want to be right, you want to get it right.
Right.
If I'm quoting that right.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So I've been hearing some stuff, and I was like, sorry, I'm the first time calling in and everything.
I understand. It's all right. Take your time.
But I wrote down a couple things. Like the first thing, like, Viking paradigm, saying the N-word, like, I get it. I get exactly the reason why he's going crazy.
Sure.
I'm a biracial individual, and, sometimes people can't tell if I'm black or not.
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I kind of like, whenever I hear you talk about it, I'm like, dude, that's like, that is so real.
Hey, dude, trust me.
But the reason why you don't say the N-word is not because, I get it. Like, you get angry. People are trying to tell you what to say. They're trying to tell you what to do. There's a big thing going on. But the reason why you don't do it is because it's dangerous.
Right.
Yeah. Like, we as men, sometimes we feel like we're bulletproof. And, like, I feel that way, too. And that's the reason why we're all in this chat right now.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And every now and then you just got to kind of let cooler heads prevail.
Right.
I've had situations within the past 2 weeks where stuff like that happens.
Wow.
And, I'm lucky to have people in my life where I can rely on them, not specifically with the N-word, but, you just lose your temper over some stuff, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And so the reason why is because we want to stay safe. We want to, and I was able to learn that lesson growing up and stuff like that.
So what are your thoughts? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the situation? And so slow burn, I'll actually let you respond to this comment. And I think with context not only matters, but the order in which you talk about this stuff matters. So listen to this sentence. He says he was acting like an entitled bitch. And did they take it too far? Did they take it too far? Sure, but he ain't innocent in this. He's 100% right, but the order lets me know that he thinks the cops are justified in this action because he said that they take it too far. Sure, but Tyreek was acting like this. No. You're right. Tyreek was acting like a spoiled, entitled little bitch, and they took it too far. Period, point blank. Nothing. Listen, Tyreek didn't do anything physically to threaten the cops. Did he comply right away? No, he did not. But like I said, his actions or lack thereof did not justify the level of force they used to get him out of the car. Agree or disagree?
I should have prefaced this whenever I first joined the call and everything like that, but I haven't seen any of the video yet. I haven't been able to watch your stream. Like, I just tuned in for like a split second. I saw you were doing this. I saw the Tyreek Hill news and everything like that.
Sure.
And that's my thing. It's like, there's definitely a time to like haggle over details and stuff like that.
Right.
And whenever I hear that, I hear like, oh, well, they did it, so I'm going to do it. Or, Tyreek Hill did it, so I'm going to do it back to him.
Right,
you know?
right.
And that's kind of like a, eye for an eye. And,
man.
One dude's left with one eye at the end of the world, and he's staring at,
Yeah, an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, that's just, I get it. Like, it does, like, whenever I heard Viking Paradigm say the N-word, like, it gives an emotional response.
Sure.
But, there's principles. And
sure.
That's just my opinion. There's principles, and, and that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. And that's, I wanted to provide sort of like a little outline on what to do whenever a police officer pulls you over, because my parents taught me this because they
absolutely
were,
yeah,
they were afraid that I would get, got one day.
Right. And I think that's every parent's, every black parent's worst enemy.
Yes. Is that, someone you love, especially your child, is going to be victimized,
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they taught me, have all of your information in a bag in the glove compartment.
Right.
Have your insurance card. Have your car information up underneath your sun protector, above your head.
Yeah.
Now, what happens whenever you get pulled over?
Mm-hmm.
You grab all your information out of there. You put it up on the dash. You
Okay.
grab your information out of the thing. You put it up on the dash. You roll down your window and you put both of your hands on the wheel.
Right.
And whenever that happens, they pull up to the car. You don't even need to look at them. They just say, hey,
license and registration.
Your
Yep.
license is also on there. You reach for your wallet. You put it up there. You don't have to reach to your side. You don't have to reach behind you. You don't have to reach over. You don't have to reach underneath where they can't see. Everything is within their view.
Right.
And I'm looking at the footage now. The body cams are fantastic.
Yes.
It
shows us everything from start to finish.
Yes, and 60 FPS, and like if I were imagining myself getting pulled over,
mm-hmm.
Everyone would be able to see exactly where my hands are going.
Yep.
In the video.
Yep. I got other callers' satisfaction. I got other callers, so I got to cut you off there. But thanks for calling. I appreciate that very, very much. Cocktails 2 says, sorry, D, you're wrong. Look, guys, like, I don't look here is my position. Here is my position. The police they're both parties, the cops and Tyreek Hill. Nobody is innocent in this situation. Okay. Both parties are guilty in this situation. Tyreek Hill should have absolutely complied when they asked him to comply. The cops should not have escalated it to the point that it was. Both parties were wrong, okay? I'm not taking Tyreek's side. I'm not taking the cop side, okay? But again, there are 4 of them and 1 of him. 4 men with weapons, all the authority. We say it all the time, guys. With great power comes great responsibility. It's not just a quote from Uncle Ben. It's absolutely true. These cops, the police officers, they are trained to be to have some measure of stoicism when they're dealing with situations like this. It's not like Tyreek was brandishing drugs or weapons. Okay? No, he did not comply. No, he did not roll down the window. But again, he's Tyreek Hill. He's not going to get into a shootout with the cops. He's not just going to run off and no. And the fact that he's Tyreek Hill makes it far less likely that he is going to run because everybody knows who he is. Tyreek Hill can't go anywhere in Miami without people recognizing him. Tyreek understands this very clearly. And here's another thing. You guys, all of you guys that said that this would end the same way, proof that this would not have ended the same way is the fact that he called his agent. He called his agent and he was like, look, I'm about to get arrested. I'm opening the door. As soon as they pulled him out of the car, there was his phone on the ground. Drew Rosenhaus was on the phone. The cop hung it up. Why would you call your agent if you planned on running? Why would you call your agent if you planned on doing something stupid? You wouldn't. You would just do something stupid. But Tyreek, in that moment, he said, all right, some shit's about to go down. Let me call my agent. Let me see what he can do. Maybe he can get a hold of Dolphin Security. And that's the way it went. again, you people who are out here saying that it would have ended the same anyway, people like yourselves would not become police officers, because I'm telling you, law enforcement, you're going to go into that situation with a preconceived notion. Okay, so the guy wasn't rolling down his window. The shit's about to get real. Well, hell, it's going to end with us all being on his back with a knee on his back, and holding him down to the ground. So we may as well go ahead and do it anyway. No. Tyreek Hill did not give them any reason at all to yank him out of the car and put their knee in his back. That was crazy. And guys, I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm not taking anybody's side here. Both parties were at fault, but the cops were more at fault. All right, Viking Paradigm. I'll give you a few more minutes because I've got a couple of other guys on the celly. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Donovan.
Yeah, sure.
And once again, you demonstrate exactly the principle you're speaking about, when dealing with Neve, and you just immediately de-escalated, and we got back to business.
Sure.
So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
The thing that I was trying to do is I'm not trying to stick up for the cops at all here.
Sure.
What I was trying to give the chat a red pill on is that the cops are actually trained to do this.
Okay.
It's not that they didn't. They fucked up. Both sides fucked up. Both sides made mistakes, right? Like you said, I agree with you 1,000%. The part that I'm trying to shed light on is that I know from personal experience talking and analyzing law enforcement, ex-law enforcement, that can actually speak more candidly about this stuff, they are taught to think that way. That's why I defaulted back to the quote and didn't censor the quote by mistake that I was told. That's a cop saying what other cops are teaching him to think about when he's approaching a situation like this on the side of the highway, is that you have to be thinking about the outlier situations, and this is what puts that fear in them. And that's why they're trained to escalate, to get control. If they ever have the possibility of losing control, they have to clamp down like authoritarian. That's what they have to do. That's what they're trained to do. Is that a problem? I think so. I have for a long time. My dad and I talked about this endlessly, like I said. But the point is, what I wanted to get at is more or less, pay attention, guys. These are the triggers that made these cops escalate it. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Sure.
I'm saying just like the bitches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention. If you're in the situation, don't make the same mistakes and try to get everything on video, because then you have a best chance protecting yourself, even if they're up to a bunch of bullshit. Because I've had friends that were I've been pulled out and put in handcuffs just for safety, air quotes, reasons.
Right.
Just because we were listening to rap music.
Sure. Right.
Right. So I have some experience with that. Not the same, but I understand. Like I've experienced the bullshit personally and had friends get fucked over by it, so I know. And should there something be done about it? I believe so. But will it? That's another question. So thank you for the time. Appreciate
Absolutely. VP Viking Paradigm, the vice president. Vice president? I don't want to say vice president of the Manosphere. Jesus Christ. I got Jay Blaze coming up next, followed by area code 347. The Level Up Man. The Level Up Man says Tyreek was acting very salty, and as a result, escalated the situation. That being said, that does not give the police carte blanche to throw him out of the car and pin him to the ground and act like an a-hole. I agree. They escalated that way too far, and like I said, guys, yes, the cops escalated it way too far. That does not mean that Tyreek Hill is not responsible in some way for what happened to him. Let's not forget this. Tyreek Hill broke a traffic law. That's why they pulled him over in the first place. Okay, so let's not sit here and act like Tyreek Hill is a choir boy. And listen, if we're gonna keep it all the way real, those of you guys who are true sports fans, this ain't Tyreek's first run-in with the law. Tyreek Hill had run-ins with the law when he was at Oklahoma State. He's had run-ins with the law before. So let's not act like he was baking cookies in his kitchen when all of a sudden the cops busted in his door. Please believe they didn't pull him over for no reason. Okay? They had a reason for pulling him over. But for them to escalate to that kind of physical force, to me, was uncalled for, and proof of that is the reason why they put the cop on administrative duty. I do not believe the cop should be fired. I don't think he should be fired for this particular incident. I know it makes a lot of people angry. He shouldn't be fired. He shouldn't lose his 401k. And again, Colonel's talk, he makes a valid point. Cops get involved with misconduct and they do this kind of stuff more often than we would like to see, and it appears that nothing really happens to them. But in this particular case, nobody got hurt. Okay, nobody got hurt. Nobody was injured. Everyone went home safely. Everyone went home alive. Some feelings were hurt, right? Some egos were bruised. Some people were inconvenienced. But at the end of the day, everybody lived to tell the tale. And to me, that's a W. That's a W, because this situation could have been far worse than it was. So I think, listen, whatever side you're on, I think we need to at least acknowledge. That no, nobody deserved to lose their life. Nobody deserved to lose their job. Nobody deserved to get hurt. Nobody deserved to get injured, whatever the case may be. The cops took it too far. This does not mean they're bad people. Maybe there needs to be a change in the training. But I do know this. Regardless of whoever side you're on, number one, the next time Tyreek Hill gets pulled over, if he gets pulled over, his ass is going to comply. And number two, if any one of these officers finds themselves in this situation again, they will probably wait to escalate. So I think that there were lessons learned by all parties involved. That's where I'm at. And listen, I know this gets guys emotional, right? I'm a black man. I get emotional about this stuff too. But one of the callers said cooler heads have to prevail. And cooler heads have to prevail in this particular conversation. We need to acknowledge that both parties share in the responsibility. And again, just because I'm telling you that most of the responsibility is on the police officers, that does not mean that Tyreek Hill does not share responsibility. But the reason why the cops have more responsibility is because, number one, there were more of them. Number two, they have weapons they can legally use. And number three, they are in positions of authority. They took that position of authority, in my opinion, way too far. They got too personal, like this guy pointing here, give me your license, give me your license. They completely threw professionalism out the window. Does this mean they're bad and terrible cops? No. Does it mean they're bad people? No. I've done shit that I'm not proud of. Does that mean I'm a bad person? I don't know. You guys can be the judge of that, but I'm not going to use this as a referendum on all of these cops' overall personality and character, right? And who knows? If they have prior incidents, then maybe we need to take a look. Maybe we need to have another conversation as far as that's concerned. But again, I will reiterate, I'm not taking sides here. I'm not on Tyreek's side. I'm not on the cop side. Tyreek has responsibility. The cops have more responsibility. That's where I'm at. All right, let's go to Jay Blaze. Jay Blaze, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, man. So what are your thoughts on this, man?
So I think we've all been pulled over before by the cops.
Sure.
And it's just a compliance test where you try and show some respect. So I can understand if the cop said, "Hey, 5 more seconds on the phone," or
sure,
like Tyreek, lowered the window and said, "Hey, just give me like a few seconds, and I'll hang up." And hey, I think that would be fair on both sides. But do you find it weird that out of those 4 cops, there was not a cool head among them?
Yeah,
they're all hotheads.
Yeah.
Like
they're all like, yeah, get on the ground and da 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 like that. Like not one cop said, "Hey, let's just take a breath here and let's just take a breath and slow down here."
Like it's like the relationship between you and Dev. Like,
sure,
you're a hothead, and then she's a cool head.
Yep,
and
right.
So you mesh well. And how do you not have like a couple cops that can just say, "Hey, de-escalate," and "Hey, let's talk about this"? Like they needed someone like that to just soothe the tension. And like it's just weird because this is Miami, Florida.
Yes.
How do you not have training? Like the Scotty Scheffler thing went viral. So why wouldn't you have training? Just say, "Hey, let's focus on training how we can combat these like slubberies or something." And this is the first day of the NFL for the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
How do you not have like a meeting before then and say,
right,
"Hey, things are going to get crazy. So hey, let's
there you go.
Like go through a few things here."
Yep.
I believe patrol officers always have a meeting before them.
Yes.
So it's just odd to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. The law enforcement that is, going to be a part of this event there should be a meeting. Hey, by the way, guys, and this doesn't mean, and I'm not saying, Jay Blaze, that you're trying to absolve Tyreek Hill for speeding or reckless driving, whatever the case may be. But by the same token, the cops, it's just like during the play or during the game. Running back takes it up the middle. He gets tackled. There's pushes and shoves, and maybe somebody gets shoved down. Is pushing and shoving, that kind of stuff calls for a penalty, right? personal foul, unnecessary roughness number 56, but referees are trained to understand, okay, it's a high intensity situation. More than one person was involved. Let's just separate the parties. No need to penalize anybody. Let's let cooler heads prevail and let's continue the game. No, this does not mean that that I'm instructing my cops, hey, they're professional athletes and they're rich, so let's just let them speed. No. But by the same token, just, understand who and what we are dealing with at this point. So if you do come across one of these professional athletes, just understand what the context of the situation is.
And understand that this is going to go viral. You're going to have a bunch of attention that could cost you your job. And let's figure out a way to handle this situation so we can all just walk away.
Yep. Yep. Totally agreed.
It's like, we all know the celebrity stuff, the amount of magnitude in it. Because we have like Jamel Hill talking about it. We have all these people talking about like, hey, let's try and figure out a way where we handle things well, and then the player handled things well, and we walked away, pretty on good terms.
There you go. I like that. Jay Blaze chiming in. Yeah, listen, like I said, everybody walked away. Everybody walked away alive, and at the end of the day, I think a lot of people learned lessons today. Bank Bets says, Donovan, please answer why it's okay for black people to say nigga and not white people. White people can say whatever they want. White people can use the N-word. I never said that white people can't use the N-word. White people, listen, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. If you have the freedom to say whatever you want. If you're a white person and you want to say the word nigger, no one's going to stop you, right? You can look at a black person and be like, "Hey, nigger." That your freedom of speech is protected under the First Amendment. So yeah, it is okay for black people to say the word nigga, and it is okay for white people to say the word nigga. That being said, that doesn't mean that I have to allow it, right? So Viking Paradigm used the N-word. Okay. He has freedom of speech, so do I. I have the right, just like he has the right to say the word nigga, I have the right to respond to him saying that word. Guys, what you have to understand is you can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do, and vice versa. White people can use the N-word all they want. They can use it. What is there a law that says that white people can't use? No. White people can do and say whatever they want. You just have to understand that freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. And Viking Paradigm found that out. So there you go. So yeah, listen, Bank Bets, no, like it's okay for it. It is okay for black people and white people to say the word nigga, but the way different people respond is really at their discretion. So there you go. LDN says it was simply a traffic stop for speeding. His stinky attitude got him into this. Yeah, I believe that Tyreek Hill, his stinky attitude definitely escalated the situation. But again, like Jay Blaze said, there were 4 cops there, and not one of them said, hey, guys, let's just take a breath. So, all right, let us go to area code 347. Area code 347, you're on live at Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's King Life.
King, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing good. Yeah, so pretty much the whole situation with Tyreek Hill, I would have to say is that just looking at it, Tyreek was in the wrong, the cops were in the wrong.
Yeah.
But the thing that saved everything was probably his security.
Yep.
And his manager actually showing up.
Yep. Yeah, so, he did the right thing by calling Drew Rosenhaus.
Yep. And that's the thing. The Dolphin head of security has actually been a police officer in Pembroke, Florida for 20 years, I believe. So he has people on the inside that would probably get those guys in trouble.
Yeah, I think... go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, another thing about it, that whole situation, I'd say Tyreek started it with the window, but then the police escalated it, and they should have de-escalated it.
Yep. Yeah, I think...
Also with how they... yeah, you can say.
No, I agree with you, and I will 100% stand by this. Tyreek Hill is 100% responsible for the situation that he was in. Just like the cops are 100% responsible for escalating the situation past the point it needed to be escalated.
Yeah. The whole situation, now that it's over, it's gonna probably blow over in like a week.
Yeah, right.
If it actually escalated to like where they started assaulting him or like
Oh, my
started
God.
assaulting his teammates,
Oh my God, yeah.
it would have. This would have been it. That would have been it. That would have been definitely on the police officers.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna have to, like, hold a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's actually a good thing that this just happened and everybody was let go and everybody just moved on with that.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to hear about somebody getting injured or being damaged for a season.
Yeah, right.
That's a huge lawsuit right there.
Exactly. King Life, I appreciate you chiming in, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Lorenzo asks a very interesting question. He says, is his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, a lawyer? Yes. All agents. Gentlemen, if you are an agent, you have to be a lawyer. Because what do agents negotiate? They negotiate contracts. Contracts are legally binding. So if you want to be a sports agent, yes, you must be a lawyer. And yes, you have to pass the bar exam. And yes, you have to have a law degree. Because if I'm a professional athlete and somebody wants to represent me, but I find out that he's not a lawyer, I'm like, well, I'm not hiring that guy because the team might sneak in some language that might end up screwing me over. So yeah, that in large part is why this is why professional athletes, when they get in trouble with the club, with the cops, baby mamas, public, whatever, the first person they call is their agent because their agent is also their attorney. It's the same thing. And Tyreek Hill had the presence of mind to call Drew Rosenhaus because he knows this guy is not only my agent, he is my lawyer. And that's why this is why he called Drew Rosenhaus. Very good question. Very, very good question. Sean Morris says, oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, look.
Broke ass niggas.
Yeah, listen, I've made fun of that. I've made fun of that. Oh,
broke ass niggas.
Look, we made Lily Gaddis a goddamn celebrity, right? I think it's hilarious that she said
broke ass niggas.
So yeah, I mean, listen, I think somebody, I don't know, I think they're just people in the chat that are trying to say that I got tricked. No, a white person used the N-word and I responded in kind. And not all black people would have responded the way I responded, but listen, Viking Paradigm can say whatever the hell he wants to say. But if he says it to me or on my platform, then I will react accordingly. That doesn't mean that the next black person won't let him say that. And if another black person allows him to say that, I'm not going to think any more or less of that black person. That's just the way that is. But this is my platform. This is not my platform. This is my channel. And I'm not going to, in this discussion, I'm not going to have white people coming on talking about a professional athlete like he was tweaking like a hood nigga. That's just not something I'm going to do. So it is what it is. Jaeger Juarez says Tyreek should have rolled the window down, man. It's Florida. They don't know what he had in the car. The police were a bit rough. You're right. You're absolutely right. The cops did not know what he had in the car, but they knew that it was Tyreek Hill. Guys, the fact that, and listen, a lot of us like to say, well, you shouldn't treat athletes and celebrities any different. Guys, society treats athletes and celebrities different. And a lot of guys are making comparisons to women. Guess what? The same thing applies here. Pretty girls get into the club. Pretty girls get into the club for free. Ugly girls don't. Is that fair? I don't know. But I do know that pretty girls get into the club for free, while not so pretty girls have to pay their way in. When you're an athlete or a celebrity and you're a man with money, guys, there are certain privileges that you have. You can agree or disagree with it or not. And I'll tell you something else. A lot of you guys who say, well, athletes and celebrities shouldn't be treated any differently. Okay, you can have that opinion until you reach another tax bracket. See, you don't like you can because what athletes and celebrities, they live a different life. And I'm not trying to say that it's fair that athletes and celebrities get treated differently, but they do. And again, the fact that Tyreek Hill is a public figure absolutely factors into the possibilities. Could Tyreek Hill have had a weapon in the car? Absolutely. Could Tyreek Hill have run from the cops? You know it. But the last professional athlete that actually ran from the cops is 6 feet under. That man's name was O.J. Simpson. And the reason why he ran from the cops is because he allegedly killed his ex-wife and didn't want to be prosecuted for it. Other than that, professional athletes, celebrities, they don't run from the cops because they get recognized everywhere they go. Tyreek Hill has everything. Look, if you're dealing with like a real hood nigga with nothing to lose, he's got 8 warrants out for his arrest, he's got weapons in the car. Listen, by all means, do what the fuck you have to do. But as a police officer, you have to understand context. Tyreek Hill is not like the rest of us. Yes, he is a human being and this and that and the third, but the fact that he is a public figure and a professional athlete makes him far less likely to do anything stupid because of what he has to lose. And again, this was a Sunday. He was headed to the game. They know who he is. They know who he plays for. The chances of him being tweaked out or on drugs and wielding weapons, while a possibility, not very likely. My bad. Let me go to area code. Let's go to area code 813. Area code 813. You're on live at Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, my man?
Good.
Yeah, just for the sake of safety, because I work for the government.
Oh, that's cool.
I will not tell you my name. Yeah.
That's no problem.
But I'm also a former PD, and I've been listening to what you were saying.
Okay.
You made some very valid point. But here's my issue with the Miami PD.
Okay.
Because I've seen them in action before. First, they deal with a lot of foreigners down there. And the majority of them, of course, we already know where they're from.
Sure.
We don't need to go through a whole entire lesson.
Sure.
So it's very hard for these people to accommodate to a regular, I would say, type of people that they pull over, knowing that majority of the time, either those people that don't speak English properly or they do not know what the laws are and all those things. So it gets them very frustrated, and they're always on edge over there. And that does not excuse them from, bad behavior.
Right.
However, it seems like they are more unhinged down there than in other city. Like if you were to go to places like, let's say, what a good place.
Kansas City.
Montana. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, correct. So it's different. So, you're going to see that. I myself, being a former PD, and I've seen that with some of those colleagues, foreigners that are from different countries.
Sure.
When they carry that badge, they also carry a sense of power trip.
Sure.
And especially within some of the Spanish officers. You will see them act like they were literally in their country. Talking to people.
I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point.
Yep, you get to see that a lot. They talk to people like they were in their country, with the only difference that they speak English. And knowing that they have that badge, it makes it even 10 times worse.
Yeah. Right.
And then now us, being former PDs, usually when we patrol a certain area, I already know who we're gonna deal with. I don't want to make it sound like very stereotyping.
Sure. They exist for a reason, though.
When you're looking at, correct. Certain areas, within the city, when you deal with a different tax bracket, like you mentioned earlier, you already know that these people, they have heavy paid lawyers.
Yeah.
They pay a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
And they have connection either with the city mayor, the county commissioners, state representatives. They're coming after you. They're coming after everything you have. So we tend to be a little bit much more careful. That's where we really apply the law, not our feelings, because we know our feelings are going to get us in trouble.
Yeah.
So when you're in a neighborhood, you're doing traffic detail, because there were a lot of motorcycles there, and you start seeing McLaren, you start seeing Bentleys, you start seeing quite a few Porsches, Corvette. You already know what time it is. That's not the time for you to go and be on a power trip. It's not going to look good. And people are going to be out there with their telephone,
of course,
videographing things. It's not going to be good. So the gentleman, which is the football player, of course, he already know who he is. So he's assuming that people are going to know who he is.
Right.
So
okay.
That's why
You're right.
The way he is acting.
You're right.
So, but whenever you pull somebody over, remember, a traffic violation is not a criminal violation.
Right.
And
right.
I've seen countless of videos where women will literally get pulled over and they drive off.
Yeah.
The police will negotiate with them to take them out of the car.
Yep.
But for you to pull somebody over claiming that it's a seatbelt violation, first off, you don't ask somebody why they don't have their seatbelt, because you cannot pull somebody over based on seatbelt violation alone.
Right.
There has to be something else that makes you pull that person over and say, you know what, I'm going to also tag you for the seatbelt.
Okay.
So now you tell the person to roll their windows. Immediately, if they don't want to roll their windows, you take them out of the car. You tell them you're going to sit right there. That's for your safety and mine. Which the gentleman never said. He said, hey, listen, sir, for your safety and mine, do me a favor, please keep the windows down. If you don't want to keep the windows on, I'm going to get you out of the car.
Right.
So what you do, you tell the person, open your windows, get out of the car, stay right here, please, until I'm done with you. If you're going to give them a traffic ticket, give them a traffic ticket, let them go out of their way. because drivers initially they are going to escalate situations. That's what they do. Our job is to de-escalate that situation.
Right.
So if they escalate it, you're gonna go further up. So the like you said earlier, the onus is on you because we already know who we're dealing with.
Right.
And the guy knowing that he's driving a McLaren and you knock on that windows and that windows probably costs more than what you're getting paid on a regular basis.
Right.
Not I don't want to be sound mean.
Sure. But it's the truth.
Take that very easy.
Yeah, it's the truth.
These are human things.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this, that's coming from somebody who got pulled over. I got a C7 Grand Sport.
Woo.
I got pulled over in that car. And so I was speeding. When the gentleman or the sheriff deputy pulled next to me, the first thing I say, sir, for whatever reason you pulled me over, I do apologize. I was in the wrong. When he says, do you know how fast you are going? Says, I do not know because I was looking ahead of me. But if you say that I was going a certain speed, you were right because you have the radar in front of you. You have everything in front of you. There is no reason for me to challenge that. I am very sorry.
Wow.
The man cut me loose.
Yeah. There you go.
When he found out exactly who I was working for, he was like, hey, do you have your driver license with you? Of
Yep.
course, I pull my wallet with my badge.
And he was like, oh, okay.
I'm about to give him my driver license.
There you go.
He's like, man, hey, you know what? Please drive safe. Have a good day. Thank you, sir. Once again, I do apologize.
Right.
And I'm a 6'2" guy. I'm
right.
6'2", 270 pounds.
Right.
I'm a heavy dude.
Yeah.
So imagine, and I've had situation also whereas I've dealt with police officers that were straight nasty.
Sheesh, of course.
Nasty, I've had a case. Yeah, I have a case down in Fort Myers where the road says 70 miles an hour. 75 is 70 miles an hour. The sheriff was doing 75, and I saw him in front of me on the far left lane.
Oh, boy.
I got on the far right lane. I was doing 65 miles. So I was doing 5 miles below the speed limit. He slows down doing 60 miles.
Woo. Wow.
10 miles below the speed limit and pull me over and say, wow, I almost ran him over. I was like, sir, how could I possibly run you over when I'm behind you?
Jesus. What did he say to
When I
that?
told him who I was, thank you. When I tell him who I was, you know what he says? Well, we're not here to put police officer over. I'm sorry. And flap on his lap and get out. What if it was somebody else?
Right. So who you are matters to cops. Who you are matters to cops. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate the... Yeah, listen, and I appreciate the call, Mr. Anonymous. He's right. I hadn't thought about the fact that these were Hispanic cops. And I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on, whether or not they thought they were in our country, but yeah, listen, man, when you're not in the majority, and you do have a level of authority, yeah, I mean, to me, that's human. That doesn't absolve it, but it is what it is. Let's see here. 870-832 and 848. I got you coming up next. Edward Cross says, all the people on the side of the cops, what happened to the Constitution? Yeah, listen, guys, I think, look. Check this out. At the end of the day, both parties were wrong. I'm sorry, both parties were wrong. The cops and somebody said, Todd Ireland said, none of this controversy even happens if Tyreek Hill had simply complied with the police's instruction. 100% agree. I agree. I totally agree. None of this would have happened if Tyreek Hill had just complied. But like I said, both people were in the wrong. And I think a lot of people are trying to take a side, right? What you guys really need to understand is that both were in the wrong. Both were in the wrong. I'm not taking the cop side. I'm not taking Tyreek's side. The side that I am taking is that both sides were wrong. In my opinion, most of the responsibility, whether it's 51% or 56, it doesn't matter. More of the responsibility is on the cop because the cop should have de-escalated the situation. They should not have grabbed him out of his car and put the knee in his back and then come and set him down like he's about to do right here. This right here, that's uncalled for. And you guys know it. He's standing up. He's got handcuffs. He's not going to run. These cops have weapons, tasers. Everybody he's not going anywhere. So what if Tyreek Hill is in the handcuffs? Do you really think he's going to? Of course he's not going to run. That's stupid. And of course, AC says, Donovan, John Jones literally fled the scene of a crime. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But you're right. He did flee the scene of a crime. The point is it doesn't happen that often. Number one. Number two, John Jones is a different cat than Tyreek Hill. Yeah, he's a celebrity. Yeah, he's a boxer. But John Jones doesn't really have too much more to lose these days. If we're going to keep it a stack. John Jones has had run-ins with the law. He's had run-ins with the law pretty much his whole career. So yeah, he had a reason to flee. Tyreek Hill hadn't had a run-in with the law since he was in college. Right? Tyreek Hill's got a lot more to lose than John Jones. So while your example is valid, that does not then mean that we are going to assume that every professional athlete is going to run. So pointing out the outlier does not make the rule. Viking Paradigm with the $5 super chat says, cops are trained to assume you did something no matter what. Everything you say and do can and will be used to make you look bad. Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. Very, very polarizing topic for sure. Viking Paradigm with another $5 super chat says, I don't think the cops already knew who he was, but given the context, yeah, I think maybe they should if they didn't. No, the cops knew exactly who they were dealing with. Yeah, Viking Paradigm's not a sports guy. He's not a sports guy, but guys, Tyreek Hill he is probably one of the top 3 receivers in the NFL. The dude makes like 30 minutes, like everybody knows who Tyreek Hill is. Police officers definitely have to know who Tyreek Hill is. They got to know who he is. They were behind him. They ran his tags. They knew who he was. And I think that was part of their aggression. They were like, okay, we got an athlete here who thinks he's above the law. AC says being a celebrity changes nothing. Yeah, you would like to think that, AC, but guess what? It does. Just like being that's the equivalent of saying being a pretty girl changes nothing. Yes, it does. Pretty girls live in a different world than the rest of us. Pretty girls get into the club for free. Not so pretty girls do not. Athletes and celebrities get cut breaks when it comes to the law. Other people do not. That's just how it is. Listen, I'm in another tax bracket and there are things about my life that other people don't necessarily. Guys, I'm a 4-time convicted felon. 4-time convicted felon. Guys, yet I still have certain privileges that most people don't have because and I'm a nobody. I'm a fucking nobody, but I have money. And that makes a difference. Listen, you can hate on that all you want to. You can say being an athlete or celebrity doesn't matter. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Should it matter? I don't know. But it matters. It matters, and you know it matters. And AC, you're pissed off because it does matter. That's why you're saying it changes nothing. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The way a girl looks changes everything. Your tax bracket changes a lot. This doesn't mean that you're above the law, but let's keep it real here, guys. Not everybody is treated the same. This is the way it's been since the beginning of time. So you guys can miss me with this moral stuff. Well, we need to treat everybody the same. No, we don't need to treat everybody the same. Nobody's above the law, but not everybody is treated the same. Whether you like it, admit it or not. That's the truth. You don't have to like it. You don't have to acknowledge it. But just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not true. Being an athlete or celebrity absolutely changes quite a bit, just like a girl being a pretty girl. Let's go to area code 870. Area code 870. You're on live at Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, hello, Don. Good speaking to you. Long time listener, first time caller. This is Mac in the chat.
Hey, Mac, what's up, man? Yeah, it's been a while. God damn.
Yeah, I'm a truck driver. I've been on the road, man. I'm actually headed to South Florida right now.
Okay. All right. Go down there to drink some margaritas and bang some senoritas, huh?
Yeah, kind of. I'm dropping a load. I got a load to get, and I'll get back to the house.
There it is. What's on your mind, brother?
I called in. I agree with you with your objective assessment that both parties were in the wrong, and that the cops they have pretty much all the authority. I mean, he gave them authority, he unlocked his door and rolled down his window, so he gave the authority to the police. You know, he's a little bit immature, but
yes.
I mean, the cops have all the authority.
Yeah, and that makes a difference. Have you ever been in this situation before?
Have I just been pulled over for speeding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got pulled over last week.
Oh, okay.
in Mississippi.
Oh.
A cop pulled me over. The speed limit went literally like in about 200 feet, went from 45 to 35. So he didn't even let me pass him. He turned on his light. I pulled over. He said, "You know why I pulled you over?" I said, "Yeah, I know how he pulled me over." And, he told me he let me go. I was compliant, and he let me go.
Okay, very good. Thanks for calling in, area code 870. Dwayne Giddings says, "Sorry, Donovan, you are wrong that both sides were wrong. I didn't know who Tyreek was until this. Go Cubs." Hashtag Dansby Swanson. Nope, sorry, Dwayne. I'm not wrong, sir. You are wrong. And see, this again, Dwayne is the type of dude who couldn't be a cop. Because if you can't acknowledge that the cops had a role, if you can't acknowledge, guys, what it comes down to is this, man. Both people are in the wrong. If you can't admit that both parties carry some responsibility, then you're not thinking about this correctly. This is not a right or a wrong situation, guys. This is not a right or a wrong situation. The cops were wrong and Tyreek was wrong. Nobody was right in this situation. You can't tell me that the cops were justified in the amount. You can quote all sorts of case law and this and that and the third. We use our eyeballs, guys. You can quote all kinds of laws and this and that and the other, but there's a reason why this doesn't look or sound right, Dwayne. This doesn't look or sound right because our instincts are telling us, okay, yeah, they can make you comply. Pardon me, yes, they can make you comply. That doesn't mean they should, fam. And again, it's not like Tyreek Hill was wilding out. The guy just didn't roll down his window. And no, that's not complying, but he wasn't being aggressive. No, the cops were the first ones that got aggressive, right? So if you can't admit that both parties share in the responsibility, then I can't help you. I can't help you. If you're gonna sit there and say, look, man, Tyreek didn't do anything wrong, I can't help you. But then on the other side, if you're going to tell me, well, hey, you know what? No, you're wrong that both parties were wrong, the cops are right, then I can't help you. I can't help you. It is what it is. I can't help you. Viking Paradigm with the $2 super chat says, I quote, didn't, but you changed my mind. Well, Sean Morris with the $10 super chat says, Don, you're right. Who you are matters. I got caught acting a fool as a teen growing up in Oakland, California. The cops stopped me. Had a relative on the Oakland Police Department, dropped his name, and got let go. Guys, listen, we can take the moral high ground and say it shouldn't matter who you... It matters, guys. I'm sorry. Listen, should it be that way? I don't know. I'm not here. You guys know me, man. I am not one to bring the moral cathedral into these conversations. Right? I'm not here to bring the moral cathedral in these conversations, number one. Number two, just because something is legal doesn't mean it should be. Right? So Dwayne Giddings, pardon me. So Dwayne Giddings wants to point out some sort of case law, which is valid. Okay, there's case law, but like I said before, there is a reason. There is a reason why we're having this discussion, right? Because if what was on the books of the law were the end all be all, then this wouldn't be a discussion, right? All we would have said, okay, they got Tyreek Hill, but according to this Pennsylvania versus whatever, yeah, okay, all right, we're good with it. Never mind. Nothing to see here. No. Just because it's legal, just because the cops have a right to do something, doesn't make it right. Just because it is a right, doesn't make it right. You understand? Yes, Viking Paradigm has the right to say the word nigger. That doesn't make it right. Okay? Just because you can do something legally does not make it right. So you can lean on the case law all you want to. There's a reason why this doesn't look right to us. We're using our eyeballs and we're saying, okay, the police officer's reaction was not commiserate with what was happening at that very moment. And that's the bottom line. And if you can't admit that, then I can't help you. It is what it is. It is what it is. They were both absolutely wrong. And I agree with this. This situation could have been completely avoided had Tyreek Hill just rolled down his window. Could have been completely avoided. Okay, we'll cop to that. But guess what? Just because two wrongs don't make a right, guys. Well, the reason they did it is because he did it to no. You're a police officer, okay? The onus is on you. There are 4 of you and 1 of him. You guys have weapons. He presumably does not. Put it to you like this. The 4 of you have weapons that you can draw and fire upon him legally. He does not. 4-1. Yeah, they bear more of the responsibility because there are more of them. They have more responsibility. They have more authority. They have more weapons. That's it. Tyreek Hill doesn't have 4 arms where he can just even the odds. It doesn't work that way. Sorry. All right, let's go to area code 832. Area code 832, you're on live with Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Donovan. Calling from H-Town. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you, brother.
Hey, so I think there is a point of contention because, foundationally,
okay,
there's philosophical considerations.
Okay.
Right? There's real-world consequences. And, what you're saying as far as, so-and-so gets treated differently.
Right.
While that's true, the philosophical constraints of government and the role of government is kind of the question here, and that's what we're digging at.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
People that disagree is saying that, the cops should be able to drag you out for something that's not to measure it. I mean, that's foundationally. Like if I have privilege, for example, if I'm rich, I'm a millionaire, I'm a superstar, I'm a famous. Yeah. Do I get? But there's still a legal constraint of what the role of government should be.
Right.
And I think that's the root of the problem here, and that's actually what we're missing. And yes, if you look at the history of the United States, all the way back from when we won our independence, right or wrong, right? Like, we defeated the British, right, and we won our independence. But at the same time, there was slavery that was wrong, right?
Sure,
it was
right.
legal, right?
Of course, yes, slavery was legal, but right, of course, right.
Right. So, these things actually transcend into the reality that we exist in. You ever hear the saying where it's like, why do we go to court? What do you bring to a tennis court? You bring a racket.
Right.
So why do we go to court? Because it's a racket.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's all about money.
Okay.
Right. So when you go to court, it's all about money. And so I would argue that the state in and of itself is way out of line, and we built a system that is just built on corruption and built on getting money, right?
Sure.
Because anytime you get a traffic ticket, it's all about fines and fees and stuff like that. And the enforcers of this is not there to serve the public.
Right.
Oh, no. The police aren't there to serve the public. They are there to collect money.
Whew, wow.
At the end of the day, you drive a car, right? You got to get a license. You got to pay the government fees.
Right.
You got to do this and that. And then we have essentially an armed force.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you look at the history of the country, that the founders were very concerned about an armed militant force.
Right.
But that's what the police is today. Right.
Okay.
And so if you say that the police have a right to do that, I think that we're really losing track.
Yeah.
Of reality here and what the role of government should be. And so foundationally, we need to look at some of our presuppositions. Just because someone's wearing a costume and has a badge doesn't mean that they should jerk you out of the car.
No, I agree.
Acting belligerent.
I agree. Wow, very good call, man. Thank you.
Yep. That's all I had to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Listen, that's a very good call, and he sort of echoed my sentiment. Is listen, we all agree that slavery was wrong, but there was a time in this country before the Civil War where it was legal to own slaves, right? Nobody is saying, well, it was legal to own slaves, therefore they had a right to treat their slaves the way they treated them. No, they didn't. Legally, they had a right to, but morally and ethically, no. To me, guys, this is about common sense. Like, the reaction, to me, the reaction needed to be commiserate with the action. Yes, Tyreek Hill was way out of pocket. That is absolutely true. He should have complied. But what the officers did was not warranted. Let me read these super chats here. I got area code 848-757 and 847 coming up. Marcos Venetia says, Donovan, you're talking about the difference between legal and moral perspective. I hear this analogy a lot around here, and it makes perfect sense. As you said, context matters. Again, like I said, the cops may be well within their legal bounds to yank him out of the car. But there is a reason why this is not sitting right with some of us. There's a reason it's not sitting right with some of us. We understand that, yes, there are some things that people do that are legal that they can get away with. That does not make it right. That doesn't make it right. All right, let's go to area code 848. Area code 848, you're on live with Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, man. This is Stanley. What's up, Donovan?
What's up, Stanley? How you doing, brother?
Yeah, no, I just want to talk. I heard a caller saying that he wanted to justify using the N-word. I wanted to say this.
Okay.
White people and black people, right, they use the N-word in two different contexts.
Okay.
What I was trying to say is black people, they just use the N-word as a term of endearment.
Right.
Whereas white people, they use the N-word to dehumanize and to disrespect a certain race of
Absolutely.
people.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the two different things. So that's why when the white person want to feel entitled to use the N-word, it's going to come off negative 100% of the time.
Right.
But I do agree with you, though. At first, I thought the cops was in the 100% wrong with the Tyreek Hill situation.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw the full body armor, when I saw the full body footage, I saw that Tyreek. The only fault I see in Tyreek Hill was he refused to cooperate with the cops. He refused to roll down the window.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, when you being combative and you not being cooperative, ain't nothing good gonna come out of it. It's gonna lead to negativity 100% of the time. So that's the only thing I would fault Tyreek Hill for.
Okay.
But you're right though. When you're a famous celebrity, you're gonna get treated differently.
It makes a difference.
As a regular average person.
Yes, it makes a difference. It really does. Absolutely. Thanks. Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. But yeah, listen. What the last caller said was absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, if athletes, celebrities, they get treated differently. Not only that, they act differently. Not that makes it right, but that's just how it is. You just have to understand that that's just the way of the world. That doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. It just is what it is. Let me, I'm going to come to area code 847, then 619 here shortly. Quail says, cops are allowed to break laws, which is a contradiction in terms. Okay. Andrews J says, haha, true, but that's a good thing to me. I guess I should have said something else. Andrews J2 says this is dumb because if there were no fine to speeding, I would speed every day due to lack of consequences. Fines are another way of government to implement a punitive measure other than jail. Well, of course. Brandon Storball says many people show frustrations to cops and don't have to be dragged out of the car for it. Alphys Gutra says most cops have frail egos. That power gets to their head. I wouldn't say that most cops have fragile egos, but I think a lot of them, relative to the number of population we have, I think a lot of them do. It is what it is. Okay, let us go to area code 847. Area code 847, you're on live at Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Dwayne, Illinois.
Hey, Dwayne, how you doing?
Okay, good. I do love your content.
Okay, appreciate it.
I watched FNF too.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm actually going to be talking about them a little bit later today. What's on your mind, brother?
I just reiterate, Pennsylvania versus them. But also the police didn't come, all four of them at once, I don't think.
Okay.
And they didn't come with guns drawn.
Sure, of course not.
And he wasn't playing. I mean, I think I'm only taking the side because there seems to be so much hate for police today that
you're right.
That just gotta. We got to. I think people need to readjust their thinking a little.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need to readjust on both sides, though.
Prejudice.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm sorry, what?
No, that's fair. I agree.
Broke up. So that's pretty much all I had to say.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling in. Listen, Dwayne is right. Anyone and look. Anyone who says these guys should be fired and no, dude, you don't take, and 619 will come to you here in just a second. You don't take away a man's livelihood over a mistake. Tyreek Hill wasn't hurt. He wasn't killed. He wasn't harmed. He made it to the game on time. Matter of fact, He caught the longest touchdown of his career. Not 45 minutes later. He caught an 80-yard touchdown pass from Tua, right? So, I mean, who knows? Maybe this thing motivated. I don't know. But at the end of the day, guys, everyone went home. Everyone lived. Everyone went home. No one was harmed. No one was hurt. No one was injured. Everybody got to go home. And I think at the end of the day, I think everybody learned a very important lesson. Tyreek Hill learned an important lesson. The lesson that he learned was when the cops tell you to roll down your window, my nigga, just roll down the goddamn window. Like Tyreek, bruh. And look, you guys know I break down police videos all the time. You guys know I have a very low tolerance for niggas who do nigga shit with the cop. Tyreek, just roll down the goddamn. Like, look, Tyreek, look, I know you're late for work. I know you're in a hurry, and I know you're Tyreek Hill. I know you've got a net worth of $100 million. I know you're making 28.
90 seconds.
I get all that. And 619, stay there. Don't worry. If you're on the line, you'll get on. If you're on the line, don't worry. Even if it tells you time is up, I can still talk to you, so don't trip. You guys have 90 seconds to get in on this conversation, but yeah, like Tyreek learned a valuable lesson. Just comply with the cops. If Tyreek complies with the cops, bruh, this would have been a nothing burger. All we would have seen was Tyreek Hill got pulled over for speeding at the press conference. Hey, listen, man, I was in a hurry. I was trying to get in here.
Seconds.
I was trying to get in here and run all over this defense. Yeah, he gave me a ticket. I was driving a little crazy, but nobody was hurt. It was all good. Tyreek, just comply with the cops, bruh. If they tell you to roll down your window, just roll it down so they can see you, bruh. There's no need to go back and forth with cops because, like Edward Cross says, when you argue with cops, it doesn't end well. So that's the lesson Tyreek Hill learned. The lesson that the officer learned was, look, dude, context matters, okay? In the future, and I'm sure that the cop, I don't even know what his name is. I don't care what his name is. In the future, the cop that escalated this situation, I'm sure he probably learned his lesson too, right? He's probably going to get a talking to from his supervisor. Hey, look, man, you are well within your rights to do what you did. You're well within your rights legally to do what you did, but you didn't have to. The guy didn't pose a threat. He's Tyreek Hill. He's a member of the community. He's a homeowner. He's got a lot to lose.
Seconds.
He wasn't running anywhere. He doesn't have any weapons, whatever the case may be. You saw that he clearly wasn't a threat. There was no need for you to take him down again. Shouldn't have had it. Okay, fine. Okay. All right, officer so-and-so. So you got a little bit heated. You're human. It is what it is. Fine. Okay? It is what it is. Fine. There's no need to take the guy's livelihood. Right? Jonnu Smith, a lesson that he learned, listen, don't roll up on the cops. Calais Campbell learned, hey, don't roll up on the cops if they're messing with somebody. Now, Calais Campbell was on First Take and said, hey, look, I told them they could now, and the cops threatened. They said, we're going to tow your car and we're going to put you in handcuffs. Calais Campbell said, I kept my hands up. He said, do what you got to do. Tow my car, put me in the handcuffs, but I want to be here for my friend. And I get that. And Calais Campbell is he's a freaking huge guy. And the cops probably don't know who he is, right? Tyreek Hill has a much higher profile than Calais Campbell, you know, but I'm sure that the cops probably deduced, okay, this is a really big guy. Obviously Tyreek knows this person, so they must be teammates, right? So if I'm Calais Campbell, I don't have a problem with what Calais did. I like the fact that Calais had his hands up. Look, I'm not trying to escalate nothing. Just want to be here for my friend. That's it. You can tow my car. You can put me in the handcuffs. I'm not going to do anything. I just want to be here for my friend. I'm good with that, right? So I think at the end of the day, I think everybody learned an extremely valuable lesson. And at the end of the day, guys, everybody lived. Everybody, this did not end in tragedy. And that, I think, is the most important thing. All right, last call of the day. Let's go to area code 619. Area code 619, you're on the live with Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Donovan? This is Sean Morris in San Diego.
Sean, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Not much, man. Hey, I just kind of want to address what seems to be armchair attorneys here.
Okay.
Because I hear a lot of saying, well, cops need to do this and do that.
Okay.
I think what people are forgetting is that different states have different laws.
Okay.
Different police departments within those states have different protocols that they follow.
That's fair.
So we can't expect all of them to behave the same. I can give you an example.
Okay.
I was living up in Oakland during the Occupy protests, and the police departments there have a lot of mutual aid. Well, for the same thing, they were dealing with the same protesters, but one of the police departments, the Richmond Police Department, decided to pull out of the mutual aid because their protocol and policy did not agree with the way the Oakland Police Department was handling things.
Okay.
So, yeah, Tyreek should have complied. We get that. And, the police here, their protocol, they probably need to work on their protocol for the way they handle these kind of
Absolutely.
these type of situations. So I agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, and so how can I put this? So you agree that so my position is both parties were in the wrong. I'm glad they lived and survived, but both parties also learned valuable lessons, and hopefully both parties will change the way they act should this situation arise again.
Yeah, I agree with that. They should. Hopefully both parties did learn something from this.
Okay.
But as I mentioned in my super chat, I had a relative who was a cop, and he said the same thing even back when I was growing up that we always say, if you comply with the cops and you don't give them attitude, there's probably a 7 to 8 out of 10 chance that you'll probably go home with no incident.
Right. Of course. And listen, you heard the story that I gave the other day. I got pulled over in an affluent neighborhood with an expired license after I had blown past a stop sign. The cop let me go because I admitted my fault. I was compliant. I was polite, and that was that. So again, Tyreek could have really saved himself a lot of trouble had he just complied with the cops. And I think in the future, hopefully Tyreek acts differently. And Miami J I'm actually chatting with him now. He says reportedly he's already. Oh, never mind. He's talking about the soccer coach. Never mind. Sorry about that. I'll give you the last word, Sean.
No, I mean that's pretty much it. I just want to say I agree, and I think people should realize that we got 50 states, 50 different sets of laws.
Sure.
And within those states, each police law enforcement agency has their own set of protocols that they have to follow either through their city or their county.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. That makes sense. I had not thought about that, but of course, guys like you who live down in San Diego, you guys think everything. Thanks for calling, Sean. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Have a good day.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So, look, guys. In the end, guys. Like I said, my position is this. Tyreek was wrong. The police officer or police officers, they were wrong. Tyreek, and again. Now let's be clear. Tyreek broke a traffic law. That doesn't mean that's a criminal charge. It's a traffic charge under criminal charge. Be that as it may, he broke a traffic rule, which is why he was pulled over. That's incident number 1. Incident number 2, when they told him to roll down the window, he didn't roll down the window. Right? He complied, but he complied at the very, very last second. That does not absolve the police officers from reaching in and grabbing him, but I can understand, and guys, listen, you're talking like this. I'm Donovan Sharpe. Okay. You guys know that one of my biggest flaws throughout my life is my temper, my hot-headedness. So look, I'm not going to sit here and chastise a cop for getting a little bit heated. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I can identify with, someone getting a little hot-blooded in certain situations. Which is why they will never ever give me a badge and a gun. Oh my God. If they were to give me a badge and a gun, I would give it back. But all of that said, I'm not going to chastise this. He got heated. He messed up. He made a mistake. He escalated the situation. Luckily for him and Tyreek didn't get hurt. He didn't get hurt. Drew Rosenhaus was talking about maybe filing a lawsuit against the police department. Listen, I'll let them do that, and whatever happens there. But like I said, in my opinion, both parties were wrong in this situation. My hope is that it changes their behavior in the future. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is nobody was hurt. Everybody went home. These officers went home. Okay, they put him on administrative duty, which means he's not going to be out. He still has a job. They didn't suspend him. He's not taken. The cop shouldn't be fired, guys. We should not, guys, it's so easy to say, fire this guy. No. Look, listen, man, it was the wrong cop on the wrong day. I'm not going to sit here and pass judgment and say that this cop is anything could have been happening in his life. I get it. That doesn't absolve him, but that doesn't make him a terrible person either. We have all done things far worse than what these officers did on this day. And of course, given the fact that nobody got hurt, nobody got killed, nobody got injured, everybody got to go home. Everybody got to go home and kiss their wives and kids if they had any. Tyreek Hill was able to call his mom, say, "Hey, Mom, I'm okay." It was all good. And listen, Jonnu Smith and Calais Campbell, they both, and I'm glad, listen, man, shout out to them for, there's Jonnu Smith, talking to Drew. Hey, they got him. I get it. Just in the future, Jonnu Smith is probably just going to say, "Hey, look, man, just drive the car up the road. I'm going to stand 25 feet back, and I'm just going to film the whole thing. I'm going to make sure Tyreek sees me. Hey, Tyreek, I'm here, man. I can't come any closer. I'm here. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going nowhere. I got Drew on the phone. Keep your cool. Help's on the way." That's all you got to do. Calais Campbell absolutely did the right thing. He put his hands up. He's like, "Guys, I'm not a threat. I'm not trying to escalate things. Just want to be here for my friend." They said, "Get out of here. We're going to..." He said, "You can tow my car. You can put me in the cuffs. I'm not going to get aggressive. I just want to be here for my friend." So they put him in the handcuffs, and he was there for Tyreek, which I think probably made him feel a lot better about the situation. Satisfaction said the world isn't perfect, isn't a perfect place, and neither are we. B Daddy says, "I disagree, Donovan. Cops should be fired. Then he will learn right from wrong." I think he's already learned right from wrong. I think he's already learned right from wrong. He says this is a slap on the wrist, and the cop will continue with the same behavior. Well, you know what? In certain situations, B Daddy, yes. If this situation happened in Opelika, Florida, and it was a Tyreek Smith, and maybe somebody got it on camera, we wouldn't know who that officer is because we don't know who the hell Tyreek Smith is, right? So if they give him a slap on the wrist, yeah, chances are that officer's probably going to do it again. But given that this particular case, this particular incident was so high profile, given who the professional athlete was, given the circumstances, it's on a game day. And listen, nobody can tell the future, but I would like to think that it is far more likely than not that this particular police officer will say, "Okay, all right, what I did was wrong. Maybe I need to go to some sort of, whatever the case may be, but I don't think we should fire the guy. There should definitely be some disciplinary action. Make him jock a desk for 2 weeks, right? Take him off the streets because jocking a desk is torture, I'm told, if you're a police officer. But I don't think we should take away, we shouldn't take his livelihood. Don't take his pensions, take his 401k. I know a lot of you guys feel differently. I know you do, and you're justified in feeling that way, but I'm going to agree to disagree. I don't think the guy should be fired. I think there should definitely be disciplinary action just so he understands, hey, what you did was wrong, and you better not do it again or the consequences will be much worse, but I don't know. I don't want to fire anybody. Alaskan K says, who do I need to fight at YouTube to stop these ads on your live streams? Actually, you don't need to fight anybody. If you subscribe to YouTube Premium, then you don't get all the ads. You won't get all the ads. DJ BFit says, you can forcibly cooperate with law enforcement without making a scene. Make rights aware to them, document and record the incident, and file a suit if you feel that your rights have been neglected. No, I agree. Satisfaction says, unless he has priors. Now that's where I agree. Now, you're right, Satisfaction. So if we find out that this officer has previous incidents of this kind of stuff, then that's going to be a different conversation. That's a different conversation. Because if he and listen, I'm just spitballing here. If he talked this way to Tyreek Hill, what's he talking to Tyreek Smith like, right? So if this is a first-time incident for this particular officer group, look, man, put him on a desk for 2 weeks or a month, put him through some classes, maybe do a little bit of retraining, whatever the case. Hey, guys, this is not the way to handle this, especially an athlete. He's on his way. Just read the room. We get it. It was heated. It was Sunday. It's Miami. It's hot. It's humid. We get it. We got it. Right? But I don't think we should fire everybody. Quail says they all have priors. How do we know? So if they have priors, then it's a different conversation. But I'm dealing with this on its face. This particular incident in a vacuum, this isolated incident does not warrant a police officer losing his livelihood and his pension and his 401k. I just don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Kevin Murray says the officer saw what Tyreek was driving and got jealous. Yeah, that was probably a part of it. That doesn't make it right, but it is what it is. So, All right, guys. Thank you guys very, very much for tuning in. Fantastic conversation. Thank you all. Thank you everyone who called in. Even those guys that I disagreed with, you guys disagreed respectfully. That's all we can ask. I've got an errand to run, but later on, I am going to be doing another live stream. I'm going to be reacting to the fresh and fit Frank Castle, as well as another bitch getting out of pocket on the No Fugazi podcast. Stay tuned for that. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Take care.